Broadcasting from the World Conference Center in Bonn, Germany, Solutions Review is on location at the FME User Conference 2023, the peak of data integration. Brought to you by Safe Software and Terra.
Hey, it's Doug Atkinson, and we are here in Bonn, Germany, back at the peak of data integration conference. And I am speaking with the managing director in Spain at Terra, Francisco Girón Gesteira.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Doug.
I'm glad you're here because ultimately Terra is the co-sponsor of this whole event and has a big presence and is doing a lot of amazing work. I want you to give us a little taste of what's happening in Spain. So what I understand you guys have been helping large energy companies manage environmental issues from time to time. Tell us a little bit about one.
Yeah, not only. I mean, we have many other type of customers, but this story is quite. I mean, it's these kind of stories where you see that you might actually be doing something useful, and this is the case with this oil spill caused by the Tonga volcano eruption at the end of 2021. Because of the volcano and the big waves coming after, we had this customer of us, Repsol, this is a big Spanish international oil company. They had a refinery in Peru, and they were unloading oil from a boat at that very moment. And when the waves came, there was this.
Yeah, random event.
Yes, quite random event. Nothing you could actually.
Yeah, nothing derelict. Just the world kind of. Yeah. Rising up and causing problems.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. You cannot even blame climate change for anything for that. It's not even human caused. Yeah. So yeah, and in that case, we did this small project with them for them. That they called us. They had talked to the local government there, to the Peruvian government. They were going to organize these brigades, going to the places where the oil was coming, to the local communities on the coast, and they needed a field mapping application. They had chosen, they used Esri and FME as their standard technology stack, and they had chosen Survey 123, this field mapping application of Esri, but they needed to make sure the data the users were reporting. So the idea was to have an application that where anybody could report. They had seen some of the oil on one beach or anywhere. And they wanted to make sure that data they were reporting, it was accurate, it was good data, and it hadn't been reported yet. Just to optimize the efforts they were doing.
So you're taking kind of human inputs of we see oil here, and overlaying that spatial data on top to provide an integrated assessment and probably a complete view of where the spill needs to be remedied.
So the local brigades could go and try to do something about it.
Exactly.
And it was quite cool project to do. I mean, it was these kind of things that you have to do almost from one day to the other, because obviously it's not something that you could that it wasn't planned for them. It wasn't planned for us. And it was very nice because you could feel that you were doing something useful, and your knowledge was being useful for
making
not just
the world
for your
a better
customers,
place.
But for exactly. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I think that's. I mean, I think that's a story that we hear over and over again. Is when you start to incorporate geospatial data into normal kind of traditional data.
Yes.
You can really start to have an impact on the environment, on sustainability, on creating efficiencies in systems and productivity. I mean, talk a little bit about where you're seeing the real power of geospatial data in applications?
Yeah, well, it's obviously this trend that most of the data you see somehow it has a spatial component in it. You see all the big players are more and more bringing in spatial capabilities or spatial storage or something for their application. And it's true, like it's not these days with exactly that's what we're using in this case, because everybody has a phone, and with their phone they can take a picture, and that picture has some coordinates. That's data you need to exploit. You need to. It's not data you can just ignore and let it go. It's like it's something you can make something out of it. You can take advantage of it.
But not every system can. Right?
No,
I mean,
exactly.
that's I think the larger point, right? It's more complicated data.
Yes. I know. We want to say that spatial is not that special, but in the end, we're a bit special.
Right. Right.
So yeah, exactly. And that's why FME is so important, because we have this tremendous advantage when we have to deal with spatial data that no other integration platform has. And exactly, that's one of our main advantages, really. Yeah.
So you started with Terra in Germany.
Yes.
Years ago. How long have you been with Terra?
8 years.
8 years?
More than 8 years. Yes.
And have done so subsequently well. That they have sent you to Spain to basically open up an office there and start to build out the Terra business in Spain, which you've been working on.
Well, Terra was working in Spain before. Yep. They didn't start working in Spain because of me.
So you were sent in to...
Yeah, they had been working in Spain in the Spanish market for years. And then I just came, and I happened to be to speak good Spanish and to have some idea like cultural knowledge of the country.
Yes.
And they thought like, well, maybe this guy could be of help in there. And yeah, they sent me there, and since then it's not just me. We're more people, and we're growing. We have 2 girls coming in the coming months to our.
And I think
team.
ultimately, it's beneficial when you do have somebody who understands the culture and can speak the language well, and
Definitely.
represents the company well to
Definitely.
be able to build the business there. I mean, clearly Spain is a good market and certainly has lots of opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, it's not about market, but in the end, it's true what you're saying, that in every market, you need to know there's small differences, maybe there's small cultural...
So what are some of those?
I don't know, like, for example, like, it's not just about arriving 5 minutes late to a meeting, which we do, maybe. But, hey, it's also about staying 5 minutes after the meeting.
Right.
To do
Right.
I remember talking to this other German colleague who was telling me like, but it's not in the meeting that you do the deal. It's after the meeting. It's like, exactly after the meeting you go for a coffee, a beer, whatever, and that's when you do the deal.
Right, because ultimately it's about building relationships.
Exactly. It's about personal relationships, and people trust people. People buy from people. People want to talk to people, and they want to talk to people who they have more or less the same.
Well, and I think when it's a project that's dealing with data, and a project that could have a genuine impact on a community, then you need to be able to trust the people that you're working with, certainly.
Yes.
And so that's part of the relationship building, that you begin to feel that this person is a trusted advisor who has their best interests at heart and will bring the right solution set to the project.
Yeah, I have to say, like, working with FME is also very nice when you're working with the customer, because everybody loves FME. The customers are so happy to be able to do things with FME that they might not be able to do if not otherwise. And in that way, like, there's always this and the other time when there's unhappy customers, but there's unhappy people everywhere. But most of the times when you talk to the customers, they're so glad that they say, "Oh, you're the one that works with FME. Okay, so I've done this and that, and I don't know. People are doing."
It's unusual that there really isn't another standard available.
Yeah, I know.
It's so powerful and so kind of perfectly oriented that there's no real room to have, and actually that's an advantage when you're bringing in spatial data from other sources, other countries, other.
I remember when I started working at Terra, I had like this idea, like I discovered FME right then, not before. I didn't know about FME before starting working for Terra, and it was like, why didn't I know about this before? Where has this tool been hidden from me that I needed it? I definitely needed this before, and where was it? And yeah, exactly. It's like really powerful. The way you can just like move data, no matter where the data is stored, no matter where the data comes from, no matter what somebody has done with that data, you just move it wherever, where the place you need it, and you can do what you need to do with your data.
So what do you get out of it coming to an event like this? You've come all the way back to Germany for this event. What do you get out of it?
Well, for us it's really important to meet the community. FME has a very amazing community. It's like not just the developers, Safe Software are amazing, but also the other partners, the customers. You come here, you see what other users are doing. You also get to see the new things coming firsthand, and just the personal relationship. I was talking right now to this other colleague, and he was telling me like, it's already been 2 days of the conference, and the time has gone like that. Like, there's so many people here coming, that there's so many talks, so many interchanges with other people. It's really like it's
well, and
really
this has been the Terra conference for years, right?
Yes.
And now it's become so popular that Safe Software decided to get in on it, and
yes, exactly.
And now is a very significant co-sponsor. But you guys have been really building this out and doing a wonderful job, and it's huge. There's a lot of people here.
It's so good that Safe is co-hosting this with us. It's something that we had been pushing for so many years. That it was like, like the wish we all had to be able to make this conference like we're doing this week in Europe. And yeah, exactly. Last year when they said they announced at the last day of the FME UC of the peak in data integration in Vancouver that we were going to do the next peak in Bonn this year, we're like all shouting.
Well, it's a great show. We're enjoying our time here.
Yeah.
We appreciate you coming by and sharing your stories. It's always nice to hear of all the things that are happening and all over the world. It's really quite amazing how much worldwide traction FME has. I mean, it's really
it's true. Like you
universal.
See, but thank you so much for coming too, and really it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, tremendous. Well, thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You bet.